again, listener, and welcome back to the Kennedy Podcast, the realism behind the schoolism. In today's episode, Hector, Ishmael, and Perez are joined by another one of the English teachers of Kennedy High and former lead singer, Mr. Porter. Here they talk about how Drama Club came to be and how it changed Hector's life, as well as why and what the podcast is made for. Sadly, not much was talked about since they didn't have too much time, though this episode will really set the tracks and show exactly what this podcast is made for. Honestly, it may even make you want to keep updated on the podcast. So want to hear about our moments of our lives that can be told at the K? Then sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of
Kennedy Podcast.
Sponsored by Daily Eagle, I think. KQED, please notice us. Anyone, please notice us. We need money.
Hello, welcome to the Kennedy Podcast. I am joined today by the full party of hosts for the first time. Me, Ishmael, and Perez. And today we're joined by a very used to be very famous teacher and now is famous within our community here at Kennedy, Mr. Porter. How are you doing?
Woo! I'm great. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
All right, good to know. And how are we all doing today? Very excited?
Good. Yeah, excited.
Excited. How about you, Ishmael?
Oh yeah, excited.
Yeah, there. He's just here for the journalism credit.
Exciting.
Not true.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I only invited him because of his very different views of the world. So I've asked this to every single teacher now. How did you get to this very... I always come up with something different, but now I can't. This very... sadly unfortunate place that is very happy within. That's the best I can come up with.
Could you rephrase the question?
Basically, how did you get to Kennedy? I need to make that more clear. Yeah.
I see. I got to Kennedy 5 years ago. It was my second teaching job. I went to school at the University of California, Berkeley, and I was looking for, go Bears, I was looking for a job in the area, and I saw a message from a teacher who's no longer here on my teacher feed saying that there was a job here. And I had heard of the school, and some friends of mine had gone through the district and been in the district their whole lives, and I asked them what they knew about Kennedy, and they were like, "It's a kind of an iconic school in the Richmond area. You should look into it at least." And then I interviewed with the vice principal, who's no longer here either, and I took the job. I was kind of in between. My family's from San Diego, and it was in the middle of COVID, and I was like trying to decide. I really wanted to stay in the Bay Area, but I was thinking about going home, and it just kind of worked out perfectly because this was the first job offer I got, and it just felt right. So I took it, and no regrets. A lot of stuff has happened along the way, but I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah, and we're glad you're here too.
Very glad.
Yeah, very. Thanks. Because, I mean, I still have yet to, even with your very fun past, I still have yet to flex upon someone that knows of you or knew of you, and just be like, oh yeah, that guy, he likes me, I really want to do that, but I haven't really found anyone that knows. I know, like, some YouTubers that do, but I don't talk to YouTubers, so there's that. Drama Club. Yeah. You wanted to talk about that, and it's funny. You've done a podcast episode before, like way before this, a few years back with the Voice Party podcast, which I might link down. I don't know. And I'm hoping to get Mr. Lascano here one day.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot has changed since then, because by then, no drama club, no, not much. You were just being the English teacher, because I think it was, your second year of Kennedy, I believe, or it might be third.
I think so.
I'm not sure. I guess we can start off with, why did you start drama club?
Good question. Thank you, Hector. I started drama club because students asked me to start a drama club. There had been a drama program at Kennedy historically. It was run by a teacher who has since retired. But when I got here, there was no theater program. And I have no background in theater. I was in the chorus of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat once when I was 10 years old. But other than that, I don't really have any theater experience. I do have entertainment experience, but it is very different. But as an English teacher, my teaching credential allows me to teach theater, which is weird. But actually on the English teacher test, there is a section about theater. And at the time, I remember thinking, like, why am I answering these questions? Like, what does setting up a stage have to do with teaching English? But here I am, and I've taught theater now. So anyway, I wanted to honor this request, and I had some free time after school, so we started the club. And yeah, I don't really have many qualifications to run a theater club other than just I'm kind of learning as I go. And that's it. Yeah.
And I feel like everyone else that joined drama club kind of learned as they went, or they had like little experience and just went along with stuff. And I mean, I joined way later, mainly because of certain circumstances at the time, at least for me. And honestly, I was very like, there was also like a part of me that was like, I don't think this would go well, because like it wasn't like a rude sort of way. It was like I don't think a lot of these people really know how to act. But I never went up because I was also like shy at the time. That, and there were some people there that didn't really like me during the time, so there was that. And I only joined way later because I think, one of my friends just took me to go see what's up, and a teacher of mine, Ms. Blanco, recommended it because of one little acting project we did, which I was kind of glad to have, because during my sophomore year there wasn't like, well, freshman and sophomore, there wasn't too much of like acting. There were those like the Romeo and Juliet thing that I did for you in my freshman year, and the Antagony project I did for PALS during sophomore year.
Wasn't there I remember that during freshman year, and I think sophomore year too, there was like this film club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were the only one in it, though.
Oh yeah. Like the first year. The second year I didn't join, but people were in it, so.
You walk so they can run.
Like I don't know what happened, because like that shit's gone now.
I mean,
I remember it was an outside organization that
Real
ran.
Oakland.
Yes, so I guess they left for some reason. I was really glad when you joined drama club, because I remember as a freshman you performing lines from Romeo and Juliet. You hadn't talked in my class at all, and all of a sudden you're volunteering to get in front of the whole class and read long passages of Romeo and Juliet in a very convincing voice. So I knew you could do it, and I was excited that you joined.
I mean, beforehand, acting wasn't really like in the cards for me, because I never considered it. I don't remember if I think it was, that same year, I already, I made my own, I made 2 small films recreating a very old video by the same friend, Isaac. He was the one that took me to go see drama club, and he was the one that I did those 2 little short films. I think it was right before winter break, and then after winter break, and then I went on to make a third part of it, a big finale, because many years ago, back in 2018, we made just the same film essentially. It's just that now I made it a bit better. Sadly, you can't find any of those, even the Romeo and Juliet video and the Antagony video, because YouTube docked me. They just banned me. Because I think hacking happened before, but they only got rid of me because I violated community guidelines, which they never specified. They just said, you violated, we're gonna ban you, and boom. And apparently that's a very not common, but it has happened to a couple people where they just get banned for violating community guidelines for those specifications of what. And there was a day that PALS thought that she had the video somewhere of Antagony, but sadly it's nowhere. I only have small photos of it somewhere. Same thing goes for Romeo and Juliet, just small photos. So yeah, I can't look back at that, but yeah, I'm kind of glad I was able to do that. And then drama club was kind of just that in a bigger aspect. And first day I joined, and then I'm like, I went, checked it out, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll do it, I'm not sure. And then I ended up getting messaged by Blanco that you told her to, or no, was it? I don't remember. I think it was Pals that told me. You emailed either Pals or Blanco to tell me to go to drama club, I believe. I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I think it was Pals because I remember reading in English. But yeah, so I'm like, I got invited. That's very strange. Like, I didn't think I was that good. I mean, yeah, I was much more talkative than most. Even now, I'm much more talkative, as you can clearly see. And yeah, just went along and don't really regret it at all. Had a lot of fun playing a small character. And even though I played a small character, I feel like I got a whole lot more praise than other big characters, as far as I've seen.
You had the last lines in Romeo and Juliet. You closed the show.
Yeah, and that was very, and that's also when I learned just, I guess, being in front of a stage, because the last time I was in a stage was for Spelling Bee. That's it. And I remember just being shy, but what I noticed was that I was only shy before going up and after going up, never during. It's a weird flow state, I believe.
I get that.
I don't know. I just kind of.
You were stimming.
I think that's the word. I'm not sure. So that was nerve wracking. I just practiced even though it was small amounts of lines, I was very shy. And even then, I was much less talkative than I am now. But yeah, I'm glad I got through that, and I think a lot of it rubbed off with protesting, because that's what got me to talk way more, mainly because of the fact that I was able to connect with my teachers a bit more and that sort of thing. So yeah, I feel like got my voice mostly because of just one old project and drama club. So I'm very grateful for it.
Cool. That's great to hear. I mean, for a teacher, that's really a dream to hear that what we were doing in drama club in some way translated to you doing something in your community. So I love the idea that whether it was giving you the confidence to speak publicly or just communicate more and better, that translated to you going out to board meetings and to rallies and to protests to speak your mind. So I think that's great. Do you you mentioned that you kind of feel, did you say anxious or nervous before and after you get on stage, but you feel great when you're up there?
Well, great, and I just, the nerves just kind of just go away, or at least I'm not focused on the nerves. I'm focused on okay, I need to say something, and that's basically just what happened. I'm focusing on what to say, not focusing on the nerves, and then it just goes by, and then afterwards I'm like, wow, I really just did that, and then nerves come back, and yeah, so that's one thing, and I think the only time that's broken, quote unquote, was when I messed up a line in the second showcase, which a lot of people surprisingly didn't notice, but some people did, and I remember just because during that it was me and Moises, we were both up there, and beforehand he mentioned something about me messing up. He's like, oh, if you mess up then something, I forgot what he said, but so I ended up messing up. At least I was able to kind of just rumble my way into the next line. It was very... my only issue with that was, I didn't know what they were talking about, because usually whenever I do need to improvise because I forgot, I look back, I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to figure out what they're talking about. But with, Franz Kafka, that's the name? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Franz Kafka cancels his cell phone plan. That's very strange play. It's hard to tell what they're talking about sometimes, specifically my character, Hold.
Yeah, your character was a lawyer, and so your character was explaining the nuances and the logic of a absurd court case.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that it was difficult. You definitely had some of the most difficult lines in that play. But I can totally relate to that idea of being nervous before and after you're on stage, but then being up there and feeling great. When I used to perform, people were often surprised at how shy and introverted I was in real life, because when I was on stage, it was a totally different energy, and I was very confident and extra, you might say. But as soon as I got off stage, I became quiet and reserved again.
Yeah.
And I think there's a separation that happens when you get on a stage, and you can be someone that you're not normally, and own it and feel good about it. So that's cool.
And with that, it's even like back then with my shyness, you mentioned me being quiet and then, surprising you with just being out there, or speaking up and being very talkative. I think I've surprised a lot of people that way, because most people just, if they just met me, or even like back when middle school was happening, I would just be quiet depending on like how the teacher is. Because let's say if we have a Miss Godfrey, basically, that's the best example I can think of, where she's just expecting you to do your work and just, do that. And then, I'm okay with that. I'll do that. And I'll just talk whenever, I need to. But then if I have a teacher like Perez, who just lets you talk whenever you want to, unless it does disturb someone, like then I get out of
Give you guys extra time to think out loud, which is a good thing.
Very, very out loud. So yeah, I'm able to talk Perez and then be quiet and Godfrey, and I feel like I'm pretty good at that. I've even surprised like a talent director with they see me and I'm just like, yeah, I'm ready to like do my little thing, and they're like, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I'm a bit nervous, and then like they're like, okay, let's see what they got, and I think they were expecting like let's go, and then I'm just like, all right, and then they're like, what the who is this kid? I was hoping to actually reconnect with that talent director, but sadly have not been able to, mainly because of a lot of things happening school and everything. But yeah, very intriguing, and that's something I see kind of an issue of a little bit, specifically with the students of Kennedy. Like they can be talkative, but like when it comes to reading something out loud, they're very quiet.
They just don't shut up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like outside of it, they're very like they're quiet, but then when it comes to
Like the most random bullshit.
basically, they just keep quiet.
Like these people just don't shut up unless you want them to talk.
Yeah, and that's like.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, because they don't care about whatever they're reading or learning or whatever they have to actually speak up about. Like it's easier to talk about something when you genuinely care about it.
Yeah, I feel like that's another thing with me. Like I get, unless I'm like very interested in something. Like if I'm interested in something, I will like raise my hand. I will talk, and I just get impressed by myself. Like I'm like, okay, I know that much about it. Example being in this CCC field trip that we went to. There was this digital film teacher, Dr. Reese.
Yep.
Professor. I forgot if he's doctor or professor. He.
Both are correct.
Okay. He just like, he's asking like, oh, the 3 things of a story: protagonist, goal, and obstacle. And I'm like, I feel like I didn't really know that, but all I thought was like, okay, what happens in a story? And then I was able to like speak out about that, and then I was like very like, okay, wow, I know that much. But then when it comes to, unfortunately, Y-Plan, like as intriguing as it can be, it's not like it's not really like for me really. Like I get the whole morality behind it. I get why they're telling us about it, but at the same time, there isn't like much that comes to mind compared to when it comes to stories or things that I'm interested in. And you can notice that with NIE as well. Like, she's always raising her hand because she's very intrigued by all of it. But
yeah, that's what she wants to major in.
yeah, that and like, and I always feel bad because the instructors that like come up to us and like, oh, you have any ideas? And then I'm like, I got to come up with something, otherwise I'm just gonna feel bad for the rest of the day. Like, and I sometimes do, but at the same time, it's very like, it's difficult sometimes. But I'm not against it.
I think it's important to give them feedback in the spot too, because
Yeah.
if you're feeling that way, there's a likelihood that there are more students that feel that way too.
Yeah. And I feel like that's another thing like some students should like be doing, just say what they think, because sometimes they're like, I think in their mentality is like, say what they think they want to hear, I used to just kind of have that like, okay, say what they want to hear, even still now, like with some folks, like I'm just, I feel too bad and not like, because if I were like, if someone's very excited about something and I'm just like, it doesn't seem too exciting, but like I'm not gonna say that. I don't want to, but it happens so often, so it kind of just sucks. But
Yeah, it's like you just buy random people stuff for no reason. Like, they just ask you to buy your stuff, and then you come complaining, yo, I'm broke. And it's like, damn, bro, you broke? What's in the bag? It's like, well, now that you mention it.
yeah, that's just me being, me being a little nice. I mean, sometimes it's either I say something or they say something, but I make sure I don't go pro. Like, yeah, I make those jokes, but I'm not genuinely, or I'm always making sure I don't reach that point. But like, yeah, I mean, as of recently, I've kind of stopped doing it because of specific reasons. But I mean, I still just do it just because I'm able to. But yeah. I feel like this conversation's gotten very off of drama club, but yeah, I know.
Things take
fine.
turns.
Yeah, this is why this is why I like podcasts. They just talk about whatever. Like, they still have the main topic, but like at the same time they still talk about various other things.
Do you think that the extroverted, confident part of yourself that speaks out loud is an extension of yourself, or is that like a role you're performing?
That's kind of a good. I was talking with my half sister about that sort of thing not that long ago. We were talking, or they were talking about how they were like very introverted, and I was very like, out there. But I wouldn't really say I'm like, I match depending on like who I'm talking to. Like, if I'm used to talking with someone, then I'm myself, more out there, or I don't focus too much on what I need to say or like want to say, because like, I don't know, if I'm like talking with Ishmael, he's talkative at times, maybe not loud, but he's talkative. I'm talkative as well, and then you can kind of just like go from there. But when it comes to like people that just don't want to talk, then I'm just okay. Like, I talk. I try my best to like try to get them out of that like very, oh, hi, yeah, no. I'm trying to get them out of it. And I don't know if it comes from like me acting like I'm not introverted, because I don't know if like, because I can still feel that like nervousness of like, oh, why am I talking this much? Or I don't know how to explain like that introverted side, because or actually better yet, like, because, well, I know you've been like around tons of people. How do you know why you're still like very introverted, or can you like kind of give more insight on that?
I think it's a natural state for me to be introverted. It's a long history. I think I made an active choice when I was in high school to learn to be outwardly confident, and at least when needed to present myself as someone confident, competent, etc. I was bullied a ton in middle school, and when I got to high school, it was a fresh start, and I was like, I'm gonna take on this role. I'm gonna be outgoing, and I'm gonna have cool friends, and that worked for a while. I met new people. I found my way into new cliques and groups, but it was exhausting.
Yeah.
And looking back now, the friends and connections I still have from that time are the people that I met before that, like the nerds and the quiet kids who I met like in between lockers in middle school. I don't know. I'm not sure what all that means, but yeah. So I chose at some point to figure that out because I think I wanted to be seen, or just sort of social pressure to and value put on being extroverted or popular maybe in high school, and then I took that to an extreme when I decided to be in a band in high school and do my school's battle of the bands and play at pool parties, and then eventually when I was 18, I was busking a lot, so I was just literally going outside of concert venues and theaters and playing music, which is a very extrovert thing to do. Yeah. And again, that kind of thing was fun, but also exhausting, and I think it did catch up with me. And now, even if people think I'm boring or quiet, I don't really care anymore. Yeah. So, and there, a million things happened between then and now, but I've kind of found my peace. But I still have I can still do it if I need to. I can still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've noticed that a lot in like theater. I mean, I didn't even like. I don't think I would have ever like considered you introverted unless because you've said like you're introverted like plenty of times in the past, but like, or I've just heard. But like, if I were to like describe you without you saying that, I think I would have just said, oh yeah, he can be extroverted, but at the same time he can still be a teacher, like he's not always out there doing so much of the extroverted life, but like he's doing a little bit of that and then a little bit of the like, the seriousness of a teacher, if I don't know if like yeah, but yeah, because like even in theater you would do like little things or set an example of like how we should like act a certain thing, and you were very like, I don't know, very just I don't know the word of it, but
animated.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, I don't think I would have ever like considered you being introverted, like knowing that and then the past stuff and so much other things. But yeah, and yeah, I mean for me, that question of like, is it me being extroverted, just me, or is it like a role I put on? Frankly, I don't know. Like, I feel like it is, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it's that much. Like, unless it's, me, talking in front of an audience or just that. Like, unless it's that, the nerves of that, like, I can still do it because in my mind, it's like, that's what they expect you to do. And that's like all they want you to do, just like to try. They don't mind if you're like Ishmael.
What?
Well, what I mean by that is like.
What the fuck you mean by that?
What I mean is your debate. Basically, like you were trying, like just trying. I wouldn't. Yeah, and they were still like. I don't know if you can be louder than the way you were in the debate, because I remember you trying to like be loud, and it was still like and I'm proud to be a Kennedy Eagle, and I feel like
I just don't. I'm just not loud.
Yeah.
Like my thing's it's less of a volume thing and more of a character thing. Like before the stuff started, it was just like, okay, what the fuck am I gonna do? So then I just started watching like random videos of like presidents and doing their speeches, and I was just like, oh yeah, Bill Clinton and like Ronald Reagan and Trump and stuff. You know, so just like, okay, so this is the character I'm playing now.
Seems alright. I mean, it's nothing bad. It's just like, I'm just saying, like, some people just, what I was mentioning with like the audience, they kind of just expect you to try, and you know, I'm just trying, and my form of trying is just saying what I think of certain things, and being, you know, as loud as I need to be, and then, you know, what I mean by Ishmael is that, you know, he does try, and he does pretty well. It's just, you know, the volume, which is not that big of an issue because, you know, most things, you know, they give you a mic, you know.
Yeah, I was expecting a mic.
Yeah. Oh, and the debate didn't have a mic.
That's tough.
And then there's my way of just, you know, saying what I think and like truly think and being loud. There's Ishmael's way of truly, you know, thinking of, you know, saying what he thinks and being, you know, at his volume, or his character, as he says. And then there's I don't want to like put him out there, but like Elias, he, I don't know if y'all like notice, but every time he like speaks out, he has this voice. Like, you can tell it's like different compared to like his regular speaking voice.
It's an accent.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Like he'd be talking like this normally, but then it'd be like, so now I'm talking like this.
Yeah, that's like, it's from like he's talking normally. Let's say like this is the normal he talks, and then he's like, so I see y'all are doing it. Sounded like he has a voice, and I don't know if that would be like a good thing. Like, I'm not against it. I just notice it. Like, he has a different voice.
I think it's pretty common you're not gonna, if you, let's say you're a politician, you're not gonna speak to your family the same way that you speak at a press conference. There are different purposes for different voices. So that makes sense to me that someone in a leadership position would switch between different modes of speaking. So
yeah, I just like notice it, and I don't mind it. Like, I just notice it, and you know, that's another way.
Yeah, a lot of politicians, especially in the area, have different modes of speaking to the public as a whole, and then individually one-on-one, it's completely different. But like you said, it's kind of like a character that you play, so it's not that much different than that.
The same thing for like this speech I wrote for like whatever that thing you was that you were doing. Yeah, the board meeting. Like when I was writing that, like I had like a certain voice, like in my head, like as I was reading it, or just like a lot of like the civil rights leaders, like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, like a bunch of other people, like military and stuff. It was just like, we got to do this for this and that, and like we the people and all that shit. But then it's just like, you know what? I know Hector's not gonna fucking read this shit, bro. He's not gonna read it like that.
I mean, I kind of like, I see what you mean, and I did kind of read it that way, like in my mind, a little bit. But I mean, I didn't end up using it because one, that thing was like 3 paragraphs. There's no way I can. I mean, there could have been a way, but only if I like really shorten it down. And I really wanted to use it, but then they took forever. Like in that board meeting, they took forever to like get us to speak. And then as much, I mean, I've kind of told this to like a couple people. As nice as the little performance was in the beginning, they like that. It was nice to see the 3 performances, and like, you know, that was nice to see. But at the same time, they were pushing it, kind of. And I noticed like the way they were. The superintendent, she was like, she notices like that it's gonna end because it's been going on, and I just see her like like I don't know if I saw a panic mode, I don't know, but it felt like she was like, hey, wait, we need to like do something, like, you know, spend more time on it. And then that's why I feel like she was like, oh, a picture, and she was like, oh yeah, give everyone an applause and all that. And then from there, just not focus on what most of us were saying. I mean, even you, Porter, you were like, oh, look at my shirt, because she wasn't looking. And honestly, that really, like, even my parents like noticed how they were with the whole thing. And honestly, it sucks that, you know, that had to happen. But glad we're still, you know, going, you know, still trying our best. And as much as, I mean, I don't know, like, because even my parents asked me this, like, why are you trying so hard for a high school that, like, you have like 1 year left of it? And I'm like, well, because this is my community, these are my friends, these are my, you know, they taught me a lot of things that I know and a lot of things that I aspire to be. So yeah, that's why I'm not gonna stop. I even like told them, oh yeah, and there were graduates there, like Julie and some others, I forgot who, but yeah, they were there and they were still speaking. So, you know, if and when I will still go up and talk if needed, if I'm called upon. So yeah, I feel like this is
No, we appreciate that. I think there are a lot of changes that have been happening at our site, and time again, Kennedy has been hit the hardest in our district. And it is really frustrating when like board members or like the superintendent isn't listening to the public. And it's just like, why are you doing this job if you're not fully being enveloped in doing this job? Yeah. Yeah. And there are times where you can take notes and be like, hey, like, I need you to check on this, and that's great. But when your public eye is not, or the people in front of you are not seeing that, then it becomes complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, they're like, okay, we're ready for public comments, and then the moment, like, I think the second or maybe even the first speaker came up and like went to talk, literally the superintendent, like she got up and went to do other things the moment she said we're ready for public comments. And I was like, oh my god, that is annoying. So yeah, and like throughout the whole day I was very like tired. My parents were like trying to like leave already because like it was about to be 9, and I understood that, and I'm like, okay, we need to like hurry this up. And I mean, I'm glad I got to say my piece, but there was so much I wanted to say. But I underestimated how quickly I was gonna get through it, because I think I had like 25 seconds left. So I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then I see the time and I'm like, okay, I did that. I could have said a whole lot more. I just didn't realize.
It almost makes it harder. There's at these board meetings where students are speaking, there's a timer that says how much longer you have. And when I've spoken, looking at the timer stresses me out, and I'm tripping over my words trying to fit every syllable in. So
yeah, and I didn't want to like speak louder than I need to, because in the mic, you know, you can speak a certain tone and they can hear it, but like some people were just like, screw the time, just keep speaking. I didn't want to do that, mainly because I just didn't want to speak that loud, but I think I would have if I was like, if I felt the need to like speak out more, and if I wasn't that tired that day. But yeah, and I was pretty surprised to like see that many people just like speak out to me. And it never felt like too much, but I feel like for their perspective it was too much. Like, they're like, okay, okay, thank you, okay, thank you, okay, thank you. And I feel like they were more focused on trying to get them out than hearing them, which kind of sucks. But that's how it is. But hoping we someday, you know, Kennedy gets what, you know, they deserve. And honestly, that's like another issue. I feel like there's not enough students that care, because there are, you know, a good amount, but there's, you know, some that just don't.
I feel it's because we just don't have much to care about. Like we used to have like clubs and more classes and like, you know, more teachers and stuff. Like we had all this stuff that it's just like, yo, we could lose this, but it's like now we got nothing else to lose, so why do anything about it?
Yeah, and that's the argument I made when I was up there. Like, I said they were like slowly killing Kennedy, quote unquote killing. I don't think I said killing. I said they wanted to get rid of Kennedy, but like very slowly. Because what I've seen, gotten rid of after school program, gotten rid of like some classes now, and I feel like that's why people. Well, number one, I don't think a lot of people feel the need to join these clubs because they're always, you know, they're off doing something else, or they simply can't, or they just have no interest to, because, well, now there's not much to do, and there isn't like, I'm not sure how to like put it, but there isn't enough student-teacher connection in a way, like.
And also the people that can do it, that do have the motivation, just don't have like the actual time. Like I've tried to, like I wanted to make like a club for like a minute, but it's like I've been putting it off just because I have like other crap to do.
Yeah.
Like I'm like worried about classes and like, I don't know, AP tests and stuff and like financial aid and stuff. So I just don't have the time. But then when I get the time, which is like around now, it's like now it's like it's too late.
Yeah.
Because like everybody's either lost interest, it's too late, they think it's too late to join, or they just joined something else, which there's not much else to join, so.
Yeah. And there's just not enough interest. Like, even when it comes to the podcast, like, I tell it to people and people are like, oh yeah, it seems nice. Like at the very first few days, they like, you can notice it too. Like the first episode has 66 views, and then from there it's just like 30, well, under 30. And that's mainly because not a lot of people, like I think at first it was mainly just like people just like checking it out. But now it's like, because I noticed this, people just don't have the, like they know they're not gonna like listen to a full like an hour of a podcast for that long, and that's another thing that like kind of sucks. I mean, I'm fine with it. I want the podcast to just be there, you know, in case like people want to like know about the teachers. But at the same time, it's not like too interesting for many people. But I'm like, well, if you ever find the interest to, it's there, and that's why I'm continuing with it, and I'm hoping it, you know, once I pass the torch to whoever wants to continue it, hoping it can stay that way. But yeah, that's another thing. Like, a lot of people here dislike certain teachers, like even the ones that are like not ones I would want to dislike. Example, Myers. Some people get like bad first impressions of her. Like, and that would be first impressions. I kind of had my own sort of, not bad first impression, but I thought she was very strict and very serious about everything. And then once I got her class, it was very, well, she's her. If, you know, she's talkative, she loves making jokes that she knows aren't always funny. But I find it funny sometimes, and I'm like, oh, that's smart. But there's some people that just hate it. They dislike the jokes, or they dislike the way she is, and I'm like, I mean, you can dislike, but at the same time, like, I don't see why you're so avoidant in talking with what you dislike, you know? And even for some, like, I've heard comments about Porters sometimes, just like, oh, his class is boring, it's just English all the time. Like, yeah, I mean, it's an English class, but at the same time, like...
So people are just hating on English.
Probably,
That's what I'm hearing.
Most likely. Basically, it's either that or, I don't know. It's either the English stuff, sometimes it's been the math stuff, sometimes it's really like, they focus more on the subjects than like the teachers themselves.
Yeah, like most of the time the teachers are like teachers are good. It's just a subject that's like not that good.
Yeah.
You know, it's like math with Pacheco. Math is boring as hell.
But with Pacheco,
Yeah, but with Pacheco, it's just him like yelling at Marvin to shut the fuck up,
basically,
like every 5 minutes.
it was that. It was like that. That was very. And that's like another thing. Like, I feel like even for Miss Godfrey, I feel like most students wouldn't want to like have a conversation with her because they always have this like, oh, she's very, strict with some things, or she's like not the best at certain things, or communicating with her can be somewhat annoying, or the way she is with her rules is kind of annoying. But with me, I mean, I always try to follow any set rules, whether they're strict or not. But at the same time, nowadays, I try to build some sort of connection. I wish I had done that like way sooner, because a lot of like other students were doing that with like Mr. Bada when he was here. I never did that because I was always just like, just get through school. But now it's like, I'm starting to be glad that I'm connecting with all these teachers now. But yeah, for Godfrey, I don't feel like anyone would wanna, but like, even for me, I want to see if I can try to get her on the podcast, because I'm curious on like that aspect. And that's why I got Ishmael on the podcast, because he has like his view of things and the way he's just, yeah. And it's nothing like, because some people would probably think Ishmael isn't the best person to talk to.
What?
In some ways, maybe not for like certain things, but like when you want to hear perspective, and I feel like a lot of people don't like hearing other perspectives, or when they do, they get mad. Like, let's say you like apples, I like bananas. Oh, but you like apples, I hate you. And they never understand, why do you like apples over bananas? Like, that's like, it sucks that some people just have that perspective. Like, I kind of wish people would have more of the open mindset of like, okay, why do they think this way? Why are they this way? And can I still be myself when I'm with them? Because even with like, because there would be one thing about me and Ishmael talking to Godfrey in the podcast, we would just be ourselves. But if we were talking to her like during class, like raising our hand and talking, then that would probably be a whole different thing. But I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah.
It sounds like you're saying that. So, well, Kennedy students wouldn't be the first group of students to find their high school classes boring. This is a phenomenon that goes back through the ages. It is okay to find your class boring. And it sounds like you feel that maybe some students aren't reflecting on why they dislike classes or teachers.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's true. I can't speak for students' individual experiences, but yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And connections are important. I think like the more you know someone, the more you talk to them, the more you know more.
Yeah.
And can understand where they come from. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you want to talk to Godfrey.
Yeah. I mean, it's very like I don't think anyone would expect it, and I don't think it will do that many. Well, not a lot of people probably want to watch it, but that's okay. Like, I just want to like do what I've been like. Because a thing with me, like, searching up my teachers is very intriguing. Because I'm.
What'd you find?
Well, what do you think? Well, it depends on the teacher. Either they have some stuff or they don't.
Oh yeah.
Like, let's say, like, search up Porter. Well, you get the whole plethora of his past. We search up you. We have your journalism side of things, and then.
Oh yeah, I think I found your YouTube channel talking about where you pulled up to like a meeting at I think Dijon, and you talked about something. And I think you also appeared on like the news talking about like your house or something.
Yeah. I think I remember hearing about that. But yeah, and there's
Public knowledge.
There's you guys who you can find, but then there's some teachers that you can't. Mogi, I believe Pals is nowhere. Yana Gihara has like
An Instagram.
that and like a paper that she like did for her college class, I believe. It's something. But yeah, and
What'd you find on Maher?
on Maher, I have yet to. I still have. I haven't found much for most teachers, but I want the Kennedy podcast to be that where you find stuff. That's why I want to do as much as I can, and then have whoever does it next do as much as they can out of every teacher. So in case someone gets curious about that teacher, they get to learn more with the podcast. That's why I want to hear different perspectives. That's why I want to hear alternative things. That's why I'm asking, like, how did teachers get here? And either they have a very long story, a short story, or
they just kind of fell in here.
Yeah. Or they have well, like Mogi kind of just fell in here.
I feel like a lot of teachers just fell in here.
Yeah, but Mogi fell in here, but he has like a whole reason of what came to like him teaching. Like, I mean, as much as I wanted to like kind of skim through that sort of perspective from you, because there's already another podcast episode. I mean, I was hoping to like talk more about like how teaching is, but I feel like from what we were just saying, I feel like we got a lot of that.
Whatever you want to ask.
Yeah. I just like that's why I want to like do you know another episode with the same teacher at some points, but right now I'm just trying to get to as many through as many teachers as I can, and then see what happens from there. Hoping the next person that I pass the torch to, has that same mentality, because like that'll probably be like one of my rules once I'm like typing out the password in the account. It's like whatever you do, don't add restrictions. Just do what it already is, because if they decide to go all school friendly, which is something, I mean, we're trying to avoid, but not in a bad way, because there's one with like avoiding like, keep f-bombing, keep being rude, but no, this is just like don't feel restricted from anything you want to say, and I'm glad it's working out pretty well.
If you were, what would you say is your goal or your vision for what do you want this podcast to be?
Well, honestly, I just like, because I feel like some teachers say things out loud to their students, but there's some things that they keep in until you ask them about it. Because I know some students would probably be curious about one thing or another and never go up to their teachers about it. I want the podcast to be, basically the information about a teacher, or what they think about certain things, or that sort of thing. And because of like time constraints and that sort of thing, we're not really able to do that right now, but that's why I want the podcast to keep going. And then once we look back later on 10 years in the future, if YouTube doesn't get rid of this account too, feel like it'd be nice to like look back and be like, wow, that was a pretty fun school, if that's what they see.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm not sure. Ishmael's just here for the credit.
He did it before the credit.
Well,
You gotta give him credit.
well, to be fair, he was the one that like he would randomly ask, what if we start a podcast? I think it was mainly just like jokes, or there were times where like he legit meant it. And then one day I'm just like sitting, like I don't remember, I think I was in D&D, no one was there, I was just there, and I'm like, I could start a podcast. Like I was like, okay, maybe like through Perez, because well, a thing or two about podcasting. I was like, well, because originally I think it was just gonna be me, like just me carrying a mic around and just doing that stuff, and then I don't know, later on it just made sense to have Ishmael on and then you on, as very little as you pop up, but still we still have a ton we can still be doing. Yeah, we still have a ton we can still be doing, because frankly I don't want this podcast to end. Like I want it to keep going as much as it can until whenever the time feels right to just end it, or until they decide to take their masks. If the school board just decides to take their mask off and be like, okay, we're getting rid of Kennedy, which I hope doesn't happen. Or if it does, I hope people find that to be very unfair, because it's very tiring when because they haven't said much in like helping Kennedy, but they haven't said much in like the theory of them trying to get rid of Kennedy, and they haven't said anything against it either. Which, yeah.
Like they're tearing down the school, so anything could really happen now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're tearing down the school, and so far it's just been tearing, and then budget cut after budget cut after budget cut. They're doing, but not saying much. They're not saying if we're gonna get more help, or they're not saying if we're gonna get less help. They're not saying if they're trying to get rid of us. They're not saying if they're helping us. They've just been listening, probably, and that's about it. Which, yeah, I feel like this.
No, it's unfortunate, and I mean, it's awful that some of your motivation for maintaining this podcast is a feeling of an existential threat to your school.
Yeah.
You all deserve so much better than that, and it really makes me angry that we're having to speculate and wonder about such things. And I also appreciate it makes me understand your motivation for wanting to have a podcast to sort of record what you've seen and what's happening and examine the depths of Kennedy, because it's a special place. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, even as I mentioned to Maher in that one episode, like, Kennedy is basically a big old movie. For some, a bad one. But even for, like, bad movies, like, the movie can be terrible. It can be like, what were they thinking? But, like, behind the scenes of, like, people, you know, recording the movie, you know, voice acting and making the movie, they have so much fun, and the movie itself doesn't do any harm. It's just not that great, but the people that made the movie still had a lot of fun, and they have no regrets of making it. Maybe they'll have regrets of sending it out because of the audience outside thinking, oh, that's bad, but, like, at the end of the day, it's nothing bad. It's just how it is, and, you know, if you want to get rid of that, then why? So yeah, that's kind of what I think of Kennedy sometimes. But yeah,
I like that metaphor. I think, I wonder what's the movie that flopped, that did the so poorly, you know, epic failure that was fun to make, because I'm sure there have been movies like that.
Yeah,
it's an interesting metaphor for sure.
Don't know what movie would describe that, but we'll probably find one.
I don't know. I know a lot of bad movies that are just bad, just not good.
Yeah. And then there's the good bad movies.
Hold up,
so
wait
yeah.
for the bell to stop.
Yeah, I'm just hoping the announcements don't end up. Well, yeah, they're not doing announcements. Great. So yeah, that was first off, thank y'all for y'all's time. Thank you, Porter. Thank you, Perez. Thank you, Ishmael. Thank you, me. Hoping to, you know, do another episode of this with, well, all of us again, maybe someday. But right now, I think the plan is get as much teachers as I can, because there are some that actually don't. I mean, I don't know who doesn't know about this at this point, but I know some students that don't know. So, yeah. And I'm hoping to get students on here.
I don't know. I feel like we should put this on the advisory slides.
I got you.
Nice. That might be the idea. We'll see who we interview next, but yeah. Again, thank y'all. This has been the Kennedy podcast. Hoping to, yeah. I don't know how to do outros, but
look in the description for whatever links we might put in there,
Yeah.
and try to comment something so we can get more content.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just if you want to see more, then support us. Like, subscribe, comment. I have not done this at all. This is gonna be the first time. But
Send us some money.
help us, basically. Anything helps. Instagram accounts, description if you want more updates from me, or just hear about my stupid GDU. But yeah, we'll also link down Porter's previous podcast episode that was much more well produced than this, but
You're learning.
yeah, we're learning. We'll get to there. We'll get to that level at some point. But yeah, I've been dragging this. Thank y'all. See y'all when I see y'all.